Today is a new beginning. It's a gorgeous day. I love Oregon. I'm from the Midwest, and we rarely have this kind of spring. Whoa, thank you, universe. I've had 3 titles for the same talk. Are you willing? The first one is The Mystery of Easter. I thought that was pretty good. Now that Trish is always asking, what's your title? And I go, I don't know. And so I come up with one. It was The Mystery of Easter. I thought that was pretty good. Then the next one was The Legacy of Easter. That had some weight to it. Now we are doing the technology of spiritual experience. Right. Okay. And if you know what I mean, good. So this is Easter, and this is a time when we look back at the story of Jesus and the days that led up to Easter. Now, Easter is a pretty new name. It was thousands of years before they started using the word Easter. The story does go back thousands of years ago, and I'm using the word story because it has been changed. It's been magnified. It's been an oral tradition, and then finally put into writing in kind of like snippets, just stories by scribes, or what today we would call priests. And they like to add their own little interpretation. And then there were translations. And then at one point, the popes got together and did their own way of putting the story together. And all that being said, this is a great story. And it's a story that still has meaning today. It's a compelling story. It's a story that's universal. Actually, now that we're historically aware and we have the internet and all these ways of doing research, we find a similar story 12 places across the globe. In South America, in Asia, in all areas of the world, there is a man, usually has 12 followers. Sometimes it's called a birth. Sometimes it's called his growing up. And he has people who study with him and students. And there is a universal, some way of that being dying, and then what we're talking about today, resurrecting. So isn't that fascinating? You may not have known this is a universal story. It's not a Christian story. And this is the way we have learned it, is through the Christian, because we live in the North American area of the world. The story that I've loved all these years, my favorite part is the empty tomb. So we go through a lot of drama. We end up enclosed. I was reading in Unity, someone called it like a vault. I mean, it was so safe, and you couldn't move it. And so we have this image of a tomb or a vault or something that has been locked off, that has been stopped, and that the divine that is within it cannot move on. And then my next favorite part, and the stone, what did it do? Rolled away. Now, was it a little stone? Was it a big stone? I'm a person of imagination. Did someone come with a crowbar and move that? What happened? That stone rolled away. And what is left is an empty tomb. There's an angel, a wise one, a light that speaks of blessings and ongoingness. That isn't the end of the story. So we're picking up right there. We're picking up where there's an experience of emptiness. And I want to talk a little, that isn't a subject we often talk about. What does it feel like to empty ourselves of the old stuff, the old behaviors, the old beliefs, the old memories that keep us entombed, keep us in the past? Anyone ever experienced that? There are 3 honest people in this room. And then there's a few others. You know who you are. So that feeling of that the past is more important to the present. Have you felt that way? Have you felt that this, that life was good back then, and here I am today? And when I have that urge, that feeling to move forward, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm pulled back. And this is the opportunity to move forward, to move beyond the edge, I would say. So when we look beyond that, there's the resurrection, the new life, the new ideas, the new beginnings. And we see that as Jesus shows the story, and as the writers write the story, and as it's, translated and over, we always have a new beginning. No matter how the story goes, there's always a new beginning. And that's what I want to focus on today, a new beginning. There's the technology of spiritual living. How many of us today are willing to give up the old ideas, the old memories that are keeping us entombed, that are keeping us from moving on, that are keeping us focused on lack, focused on hurt, focused on judgment, lack of forgiveness? We have all of these little issues. They're not really little, are they? No, they're huge, depending how much energy we put in them. So in order to resurrect, we have to create an emptiness, an empty tomb, an energy of expansion. So I'm willing, and I'm asking you, and you may not agree with this at all, and you're from a more traditional background, and I celebrate that and support it. We all have a different way of looking at spiritual truths. As we move beyond our limitations, we have the opportunity then to work and find a way, I'm using the word, a new technology of spiritual awareness. And in Unity, we like to say we're spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way around. And many of us are often in our daily life being very human, and occasionally, oh, that's right, I could read my daily word. Oh, I could meditate. Oh, I could go for a walk. Oh, I could say an affirmation or an intention statement. And then many of us go back to the feeling less than, not enough. So the invitation is to walk, to move. And I'm going to be starting a 6-week series, and I'm just going to share a couple of those tips today and invite you to go on the journey with me. It's by Ken Daigle, Unapologetic Manifestation, and it's the newest Unity book. And it's really about moving forward, about co-creating, about saying, I have something to give to the world. Now, when I said earlier, 90% of us get along, did anyone here just question that? Is it possible that 90% of us could get along? Do you get along with 90% of the people you know? I mean, can we expand the willingness to find agreement? This is what it's about. Not that we have to think alike, but can we find a space of agreement? So I have these few little ideas, concepts that I want to talk about that I would call is the process of resurrection. Are you willing to resurrect? I said earlier, I was talking to my friend Jane Hyatt, and at the end of our discussion, she said, "What's your resurrection story?" So I want you to begin to think as I share these ideas, what is your resurrection story? What area in your life are you ready for new things, new ideas, a new way of being, a new way of being a light in this world? Because it's our work. We sometimes we forget that. So the first step, now they tell you when you're learning to speak not to ever do things with steps, because you have to have a paper. Having spoken all these many years, I still have a little piece of paper, and I'm being honest, okay? The first step is to focus your mind. Now, if you're like me, you get wishy-washy. Your mind just goes over here, it goes over there, and I'm back in when I was a child, and then I'm in middle school, and then I'm in ministerial. I just am busy. I travel all over. Focus your mind. Focus your mind on what you want, not what you don't want. Focus your mind on what you want to be, not what you're letting go of. Think of what you want to focus your mind on. I want to focus my mind on being a support. I want to focus my mind on new relationships, new job, new financial support. I want to focus my mind as a spiritual being on moving out of an empty tomb. The next one is, this is the one I kept forgetting, and I just laughed all morning. Shift your consciousness. Where is your heart? Where is your spiritual focus? Are you willing to leave the belief in lack out the door and down the street? Are you willing to leave the sense I'm not enough over there? Are you willing to leave the judgment that he treated me wrong over there? All of those negative thoughts bring us down. It was really hard. It's really hard to resurrect when you're carrying judgment and anger and disappointment. This is called emptying. Emptying. It means we let it go. We shift our consciousness from lack to manifestation and prosperity. Next one is taking action. So if I've shifted what I'm thinking, then I really have to get on the road and walk that talk. I have to walk that talk. So I have to be spiritually giving and sharing and spending time praying and volunteering and working with the whatever calls you to do. And then also increasing what you see as a flow of life. We are not living in a universe that is stagnant. You do understand that. There is energy. Woo, right now. Woo, right there. Woo, right there. Right? Woo, woo. And we can't see it. I just read this little article in the latest Unity Lenten book about we keep speaking English and we've forgotten that the universe listens to energy. So we have a prayer, we have an intention, we send it out in words, but we don't give it energy. Has anyone ever done that? No need. So we're going to take action. We're going to be part of the flow. Ooh, we're going to ride the wave. We're going to be engaged, not sitting on the side of the road going, oh, well, look at those folks. Wish I could be like that. Anyone ever thought that? Wish I could be like that. Yeah. Huh. How'd they get like that? Oh, okay. Well, they focused their mind, they shifted their consciousness, and they took action. So we're acknowledging in a real time what it is that is stopping the flow, that is stopping our peace of mind. And what happens when we realize that we are energy, we are connected to the whole world. Now, our voice doesn't carry that far, and we can get on the internet, and we can be in South Africa, or we can be all over. The energy is universal. You can send energy anywhere. And are we doing that? Thank you. Anaya said, yes, she is. 14? 15. Our 15-year-old is sending energy. So what are the rest of us doing here? I don't know. Thank you, Anaya. Sending what kind of energy? Positive energy. Are you sending positive energy to places that are hurting, places we may not even understand what's going on? What can we do? Can we send negative energy or positive energy? What is the resurrection story? It's positive. It's a new beginning. It's a new life, new ideas. So what is our resurrection story today? What is my resurrection story today? And the last one of these steps that we're going to be going into detail is to be open. Now, you know, the universe is busy. Have you noticed? The universe is busy. The universe got you here today. I don't know how else you got here. But a little part of you said, I'm going. And you did. You took the action and you came. So there are people all over the world right now. They went here, they went there, and the universe is in motion. It's not stagnant. It's moving us. We're co-creating with the universe. We are part of, it's called co-creation. We're not just standing by with the hand on the hip. Look at that. We are part of. And what we put out manifests. So if we want the world to be different, who has to be different? Me. We do. If you want a new relationship with someone that you feel uncomfortable with or has said things to you, if you want to start over, where does it start? Here. If you want to have a new prosperity financial life, where does it start? In giving. In giving, you receive. If you want a new whatever it is, you want to feel different about your health. You want to feel different about your family. Where does it start? Right here. Right now. Resurrect. Move beyond. So I was thinking about what's my resurrection story. I didn't know. I went to bed last night. I didn't know. It would have been a very short talk. And I woke up this morning and went, oh, my resurrection story is Unity of Salem. I had retired. I was done. I was going on walks on Sundays and out to lunch. And I got a phone call from Unity Worldwide that said, would you go help Unity of Salem? So I came and gave a talk, and I gave another talk, and another talk, and it's 2 years later, and I'm still talking. And you know what happened? I fell in love with you. I did. I fell in love with you. Whether this is your first time or you've been here since the first time I got here. And I fell in love in remembering what ministry is. Because ministry is stepping into, I've stepped into, not your specific lives, I've stepped into your spiritual lives. And you've let me. And we get to have a conversation. Now, you're not always talking back. That's nice. That's good. However, we have become like this. And I am so grateful that I was willing to resurrect, come out of that tomb, come out of retirement, and here we are. So I want to ask you, what is your resurrection? I would just want you to ponder that. And what is it, if you're not, what do you desire in your life? What is the changes you're looking for? Because most of the time we think someone else has to change for us to change. No, I'm sorry. It's a self job. It's our job to do. We're the ones who come out of the tomb and resurrect. And Jesus has a beautiful story to show us how to change. And you have that opportunity also. What is it I desire? And there's something in our society that almost says you can't. Have you ever heard that message? You can't. I'm the only one. Okay. Well, that part of us that keeps us like a prisoner, which is what a tomb or a vault is. I'm imprisoned in the past. I'm imprisoned in my judgments. I'm imprisoned in my fear. I'm imprisoned in my feeling of not enough, lack, money, health, relationships. And what does it take to open that? Our spiritual connection. And we don't have to go anywhere. It's right here. So the message that I was reading over and over as I was going through our Unity history books and the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, the steps of getting to this point is the willingness to honor that we have the divine energy within us. And we align with it, and we act on it. That's the Easter story. That's the resurrection. So we're going to move into a time, and I've asked Angela, we were here about 7 of us and started the 24-hour prayer vigil, and I know some of you were praying throughout the day, and we had this little table. We had a little nest with empty eggs, nothing in those eggs, and we sang this song, and I asked Angela if we could sing it today as we go into meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes or get comfortable or lay down. No, you don't need to lay down, but do whatever it feels right. Put your head on someone's shoulder. I invite you to open your hands if that feels right. And you can listen or sing along.
Time to know that everything you do is secret. Now is the time to know that everything you do is secret. Time to know that everything you do is sacred. Now is the time to know
Everything.
that everything you do is sacred.
Let's sing it one time with her.
Now is the time to know that everything you do
I do.
is sacred. Now is the time to know that everything you do is sacred.
Is sacred.
Every thought is sacred. Every act is sacred. All is grace. Every thought is sacred. Every act is sacred.
We take that message, and it's more than a message. It's your story. It's who you are. I am sacred. I am a child of God. I am a being in expression of God. I carry the energy of God. Whatever feels right to you, the God of your being, the God of your understanding, is one God that goes by many names around our world. We are truly grateful as we resurrect beyond our fears and limitations. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Ah, deep breath. Ooh. Can you feel it? Can you feel the energy in the room, the light, the love? It's my favorite. It's my favorite. Thank you. Thank you, music team.